Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
Welcome back to the channel, people. This is Influence, and today I have another member of the Radiotron team, or Raiden team, whichever you prefer. I call him Raiden. I say that like I know the character, but I don't know the character. So this is MS-06 Cool Peak. I'm not sure of his original name. I will probably have it in the description or popping up or something after I find out. But you see the 360, I love this guy, to tell you the truth. One, he's not hard to transform. I really like his transformation. Does have a couple parts that are crazy tight, pegging in, and we'll get to that, even though it's not anymore. It was the first time, so it's probably and if you notice these holes back here, you can't really see it because it's dark in there, but they can be covered up with the wheels. Right now I just noticed I don't have the wheels right, and we'll get to that too. I will show you why I don't have it right. But yeah, I love this color. I thought it would look plain, like the sand type color, tan, I guess it is. I mean, they call it exotic names, but it's like a sandy color. It looks really sandy with the red, and it pops in his head. I like his head sculpt. I got the wings on there right now. You can take those off. Everything is basically tight. There's no real QC issues that I've come across. I mean, I guess the tightness of the joints and some of that are QC issues, but I mean, it's pretty much, it's not perfect, but it's a great figure, especially after a couple of the other ones. They had some issues, but combine mode was fine with all the other ones, and this one is no exception either, which is combine mode is what is most important for me. And let's get into it. Like I said, I mean, there's no real issues when you first get it. This waist right here, it's a waist here that turns. It turns at the top too, and this was backwards. This was back here. So what you have to do is just lift this fist out. Spoiler alert, it's not really built in. It's not all in one. There are parts forming, but I do like that the fist has storage in robot mode, so you don't just have to have the fist somewhere. The only thing that would have to be floating around probably is this in robot mode, which is the couplers for the train. But I suspect if you're not using the train, well, you wouldn't need this anyway, so you probably just throw that in a box. But yeah, the fist back here goes in a little place, and what you would have to do is do this and then turn this around. You would turn this like this. Well, it would come like this, and then you would have to turn this around and then turn the bottom around, and you can put all this back together. Doesn't move around. That you hear, I don't know if you can hear that. That's a light that goes back here that you take off, and I'm about to get into that. Other than that, like I said, I don't have any real issues with this guy. He's a solid figure. Again, that's the thing floating around, but he's a solid figure. So let's get into, and he holds his gun well, same masterpiece gun. So let's get into the accessories. So first, his gun. To show his gun, and it's nice, similar to the other ones. Just single cast with some molded details, some stuff going on, a little red paint on both sides, and it has the hole, the masterpiece hole for the gun, some peg in the peg. So you got that. These wings here. Now these wings peg in right here, which was normally there is a light. So I just stuck the light in here just so I didn't lose it, because you see it's very small, but this is hollow where you put the fist at. So it's just this light right here. It comes on. It's not like an accessory, but you had to take it off to put those wings on in robot mode. So then you just put that on like that. So that's how it normally looks. And these wings right here, what they can do is fold it down like this, and then they move both sides. Like you fold it down, because if you have it up, it won't go anywhere. So you got to fold it like that, move it down. This side, make sure it's folded in, move it down, and then it collapses. This is how it comes. I assume this is the wings for the back, or for the combined mode robot. Not sure how it works, but I guess it would just clip in probably the back or somewhere. I could probably figure it out if I try, but it's just wings. It's nice, especially when they're folded together, because they're mirror each other, both halves. And you have like the gun piece, just some molded details, some little red accents there. Yeah, you got the picture. Got scale, 1-to-1 scale again on all the boxes. You got the 1-to-1 scale robot, and also the train, which I do love. It's great if these were sold in retail, because then you can see how big the robot is. But then you have all the pictures of everything. Let's bring the team in and get into comparisons. And here's the whole team together. Well, not the whole team, but 5 members. The 6th one is on the way. I just got my 3-day notice from Chosen Prime, which is where I got all of these from. Not sponsored, just giving a little shout out. Usually I don't do that, but I mean, they're a pretty good store. They look good together. I should have left his gun in, but they definitely look good together. And bring in Optimus as well. And you can see they're as big as Optimus. This man, this combiner team's almost done, and it's probably, even though the Aerobots are, I done spoke about the Aerobots so many times, but the Aerobots are one of my favorite teams. This team right here is weird too, because I didn't know this character until this year. Now let's get into articulation. So his head goes up, way down. You can even get it forward, do the transformation to look down. I like that. You can move these things. They're articulated. You got his shoulder. I don't think there's no other. I know when it comes also, these aren't on very tight, but you can get them on tight to where they don't wobble. Like they were popping out, and I thought we was having QC issues. Like I said, this guy doesn't have many QC issues. He's pretty solid. Has bicep swivel right there. That is a little loose, but it's not loose. Got the arm goes 360. I can't say there's no ratchets there, but it does feel like it's not loose. So just like the bicep feels loose, but it doesn't feel like it's going to move by itself. Get the arm bend, which is not double jointed, but the way the elbow is, and I do like that they sculpted kind of like almost a double jointed elbow, the way it looks. But you do get way more than 90 degrees, so that's great. Fingers, hand goes all the way around. Thumb is on a ball joint with no other knuckles, and all 4 fingers have ball joints, but they're really nice ball joints, like they're tight ball joints. You got and knuckles for the second knuckle, and the tips are nothing, so you can do that. You can just spin it around, doesn't go in and out. Waist, you got the upper waist up here, and you got a waist right here. You can't get it all the way around, like I said, if you get the hand out of the way. And also you can get an ab crunch if you unlock it right here. Just unlock that, and then you get the ab crunch there about so much. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if, I guess maybe this is used in arm mode. It can get like a secondary kind of bend, but I don't know any other reason for that other than to keep the abs from not crunching when you don't want them to crunch. Skirts, you get skirts out, all 4, or I should say all 6, because the back skirts come out as well. Again, no ratchets, but it seems even with the heavy legs, they are die cast. Some of the legs are. Now you got ratchets forward and back, and I understand why they do that because of the A stance. Again, of course, it's ratchets, so, and they're short ratchets. I like that they're short toothed ratchets. So I don't know why they couldn't put ratchets on the A, like outward, if they had them this short. Like, they're really short. So that would be good. Ratchets on the knee. You get 90 degrees. Nothing. You get a swivel at the hip. It's kind of like the thigh swivel. And you get a big rocker for the foot. And you also, I think you can get some toe tilt. I don't know, because the toe moves weird. Yeah, you can get some up toe and some down toe if you really need it, especially for some pictures, but it doesn't really do anything. And that's it. And like I said, in the back, it's clean. And what I was saying earlier was this is covered up, even though you can't really see it because it's dark in there. It's dark plastic, but you can cover this up with these wheels that I'm not going to do because it's right now it's just too much, because I'm just about to transform it. But just know you can move this. These wheels are on this hinge that moves all crazy ways, and you can get it up and down, and you can move it. See, I'll do it without getting it. You move it up like that, and then you can cover that space. So they thought of everything. Again, not sure if I showed a close-up of his head sculpt. Kind of looks like Cerebro, the toy version that people wanted. Kind of. I can't remember though. I can't remember what Cerebros looked like. I know it was similar, but I can't remember exactly. Let's get into transformation. We can go. Now with transformation, it's not super hard, but there's a lot of parts. So forgive me. Hopefully there's like a lot of little flaps and stuff that you need to flip and fold over. And I'm hoping I don't miss any. Put the fist like this. Put that in there. Not sure how much a difference it makes which way you have the fist. I think before I had it like this and put it in here. But you gotta watch that thumb. Yeah, watch that thumb. Maybe it does make a difference. That thumb must not hit this way. Yeah, so do that. His head is on a swivel, like a double jointed hinge. So it hinges up like that, but then the middle part of the hinge hinges back. So the head ends up on the other side of that double hinge. This can be very tight, and I'm afraid that ball joint could get damaged. It doesn't seem like brittle plastic, but while you're trying to manipulate it, it does seem like it could get damaged. But just push that in there like that, and kind of, as long as you get it there, you should be fine. You can move these this way, move these this way. Now you want to get this panel up here like this, and this arm right here, and you can even use this in, I guess there is another joint, but you can pull that out if you need it to get like a little butterfly. It's not much, but because it's on the double joint here, you can see it better. And you want to swivel this back, and you see that joint flip around and then cover. I think that's clever. There's a lot of clever stuff here. Then you flip this I'll do this one over here so you don't forget. Again, flip this thing up like that, put that down there. Now you can pull this out. I don't know why I do this now, but you could do this first if you wanted to, but you pull that out. Then there's a panel here that you get, flip out like that. Flip that panel out. I just moved that so I could get to it. Then you can push this back in there while these panels are out and flip this panel out right here on the side. Flip that out. Flip that out. Now you pull this out, flip that out, and then you can just leave it like this for now. Again, over here, same panel, you just flip that out for now. Then you can pull this up. You can move all this back. This is the panel that I was talking about right here. On the side, you want to pull that out. Pull this out before you flip this all the way up, because then you're going to be able to get this panel right here. You're going to pull that up and it's going to slide into there, but you don't want to do it yet. These right here are going to fit into those, so you know the holes on the back. So then you have this like this, and I'm going to put it down for a minute so we can see. Now you want to unhinge these and go like that, both sides. Unhinge, go like this. Now we can move these down here. Turn it over, because I'm moving this up and tabbing it. And what you're doing is you're moving this up to tab that into there. Move this up, tab that into there. Then you can tab these two together. These have flip out panels. Flip those panels out. This side was already flipped out. I probably never flipped them in. Just to show you on this side, you can try to piece them together. Sometimes they'll come out, but try to keep them together when you put it down, because if this panel falls in, it's hard to get up again. So let's do that. This is like this, so you just pull this up and push these in like this, because when they pop out, if they're already out, you can't really push this down on here. So once you get them to pop out, then they can go into this slot here. So you want to peg this onto here. This can get kind of daunting if you don't have it exactly where you need it. Like sometimes the arms aren't where they should be. That time it went without a hitch. You can move this down here. And there's two pegs on each side. That peg in right there. Then put that on top there. Now this right here, now you can pull this out and it pegs in to this little side piece. Put it out, pegs in. If you didn't have that pushed in, or didn't have these down, you wouldn't be able to get it, or didn't have these up. I didn't have these up the first time I did it. So when I pulled it up, I couldn't get it past these two things. So now you can pull this up and it fits in that slot there. Pull this up, fits in a slot there. Then you can move this way. And it fits right there. You can pull this out, pull this out. And of course you flip these up to keep the wheels from sliding. I'm not going to do it, but you know they're there. Just like on all the other ones, you flip the little flip out, then the wheels won't come in. Wheel's not going to come in anyway, really, but just to do it properly. And this, then you move this up here. I forgot. When I came back from arm, this is for arm mode. So there's a panel here for arm mode that's flipped up. I never flipped it back. You might want a tool too for some of these spots. So flip that back. All right. So now you want to pull this up here. And there's 2 pegs. This is probably one of the hardest pieces to get in. But it'll probably go in, of course, because I'm doing it on camera. And it went in perfect. And that was because I'm on camera. Then you put this piece in there. So now we can work on these legs down here. You can kind of see what's going on. Move these skirts out the way. Then that way you can get the legs farther apart. So you can work on all this stuff. Move that out here like this. There's a little double hinge here. You want to hinge that up. The only reason you're hinging it up is so you can get this foot in. So then you flip this around like this and stick that in there like that. And then you hinge it back down. You're golden, good to go. Pull this up. Good to go with that foot. Move this up. Then what you want to do is move this out. It'll be here, so you want to try to move this out like that. Then you can push this down. You can keep it like that. That way you can get to all of this. Now you want to push this up here like that and leave it. And once you pull this out, then there's a panel right here that you want to flip. Flip that out like that. Don't forget this little piece right here. After you flip that up, you can flip this up too. Forms like the right angle. Now you combiner wars it in. At the same time, you can pull this up like that. So this peg is, make sure that peg is sticking out. Then you can move this down. It moves every which way, so you just want to get it so you can get it out. And you see that hinge right there? Like you move it out and you kind of move this down. So it's sticking out like that. There you go. And then you could push it down here and it kind of goes in that groove like that. You see how that's set up. Then you can move this back and just peg it in. And you see it all pegs and lines up and you got one side done. So now you want to do the same thing over here. Try to show it better maybe, or the same, I don't know. But you pull this out. The reason you're pulling this out is because this is locking this in right there. So that's one of the reasons this is locked in. Also, then you want to get this in a little bit like that so you can move this out, because this is underneath there in that little space. So that way you can get all that stuff together. Now with this, move this up. Move this up on this. Up on this, move this down. It's kind of a double hinge. You see how that goes. Then you just move this back down here. Flip this flap. Flip this out as well. You can kind of get that out. This should be out too. I don't know why it wasn't. I don't think it's out when it comes. It's just a little filler piece. So it's like this, and it just fills in all of that along with that wheel. So all of that will be filled in, but you just flip that down. That's down. It doesn't affect anything when it's down or up. So, but it has to be down in this mode because it's not going to go in if it's not. Get this out first, this wheel. Again, it's not in the correct way, but you can kind of figure it out. Move this panel up here. Now you can move these in. This where it gets kind of tricky because it's running out of room. So you kind of bend this up as you're pushing this down, and then bend this up a little more as you're pushing it down. And then you can kind of get it to bend in where you need it. Now you forward this. Go, put it there, put this back together like that, and then you can try to put this together. Now, I had the hardest time getting these pegs together. They may go together now because it's been done a couple times. You can see in there where those pegs are. They should be lined up. Yeah, you can move that up. So I guess move that up and try to, there we go. Okay, so that's the technique. Move them up and try to close that, and then put these back down. And now you just close this on top of each other, and it adds to the tight stability of it. There we go. Move that out. Push these back in if they're not in. This goes under here. So if it's not under, it's not super hard to do though. So that's a good thing. Let's get them like this. There's little spaces there for them. Then you want to take this panel, fold this out like this. Kind of get this underneath. It's not too bad to get underneath that right there. But then you got to get underneath here. It's not too hard either. And there's actually a peg right there that pegs in to the side. And the trouble is getting this underneath and then getting that pegged in, just like that. Perfect. And this over here, again, unfurl that and then get this underneath here. But at the same time, you need to get it pegged in, and it went right in, that one. And this came out, so, you know, it's little. At the end of every one is problematic just because you gotta get every single thing lined up. And here you go. You got the train. Got all this stuff up here. This details very, very nice. You got this right here. Super nice. Super, super nice. You got the paint. Again, the paint just pops. The tan with the red. And you see in there, kind of looks like curtains in there to me. Like people are in there sleeping, so they pull the curtains. the door back here, windshield, you got this thing that I'm not gonna put on, but because it's tight. So you stick that coupler there. And this even has storage for the gun. So you got gun storage there, and then you can put the little spot there where you can put the wings. And there you go, you can put the wings there. You got a train. Got the gun on the storage and the wings. Not much else to say about the train. Now we can go to arm mode. Flip this in, pull the fist out. Fist is heavy. I think this is die cast or some very thick plastic. Really nice, big fist. That's why parts forming is the way. Pull that out, you got this big hole here. So what you do is flip this over here and it covers that. And it goes into there like that. So you're good and you're golden. You can pull this out. Flip this in to pull this down. And that's one of the reasons you flip this, like I showed earlier. Then this is spring loaded. I think this is pretty clever too. So you have a spring loaded side and then you have a regular side that's not spring loaded. Hopefully this spring doesn't give out, but I don't think it would matter if it does anyway, because you have this piece out here and this whole mechanism feels pretty sturdy. So what you do is fold it up and you want to insert it in here sideways, and you got to insert both pieces in and then you push it all the way up. Now when you push it in, they spread apart, and to keep them apart, when they're spread apart, they clip on. You see how they're clipped? So to keep them clipped on, you push this thing in the middle down, and it actually seeds in the middle of these two. If you have it all the way up, you gotta have it all the way up so it goes. There you go. Push it down, and now it keeps those two sides spread apart in order to keep this in. And then it's in. Like, you don't need to worry about anything. You can put this back, work on this too. So you put this up and then you fold this back up here like that. Pull this up. It's probably easier to do. Fold that back up here. And see what I mean? That's my fault because I did not do it in the right order. You're rushing. Now I'll put this up here like this, because then it'll go on top and peg in. But you can peg it in, then you can put this back here and then put this on top of here like that. Now you have this, fold that back down. Again, you get this, fold that back down like that. Pull these skirts out to make it a little easier to pull this all apart. It's just the side skirts. There we go. Get this apart. Pull this apart as well. See if I can get a tool in there. Now all of this right here gets a little tricky. Push that down, pull this up. You want to move this back down, pull, bend this on this double hinge like you did before to get this foot out. This you can get like this. Move this over. Move this back like this. Put that in. You can flip this in. Then you can just push this back down. But then you bend at this knee here. Make sure this is out the way so you can get some room. When you bend at that knee, the way you can lock this so it doesn't move is this little tab right here. You push this tab in, and if you can see, that tab goes down and it goes into the space. I didn't need a tool the first time I did it, but I just want to get it right. So you flip that down, you can pull it up like that, and then now it won't move at all. So then you can flip this in. And that's the reason I had it the way I had it the first time. Gotta try to get it correct right there. This goes back down, and then you can move this up like this. Now this right here, you move like that. Then you move it like that. Then you push this down and it kind of clips in there. Clip it in and push it. Make sure it's clipped in right. Then this, you flip up. You can fold down. Kind of covers that. Again over here. Hopefully a little smoother. Move that. It's not as difficult as it looks. It's just a lot of moving parts. As normal. As per normal. So flip this in. Move this out. Flip this down. Flip this in. Pull this out. Then you want to move this out like this. Make sure you got this thing right here. Out of here. Now you want to pull this out after you get all this stuff away from here. Should be good. Pull this out. The only reason you're pulling this out is to get this folded back in, which is weird, but that's what it is. And you're just pushing this back in, but then you're moving this way all the way. Then you got, you know, you have it right when you can I don't think I have it right now. If you can see that and you can push it in and it fits in that little space right there, you know it's in the right spot, because it's not going to move anywhere else. There you go. Now you get this situated right here. That up in here. Get this foot out. Move this down here like that so you can get this foot out of here. Move this back up. And I'm not sure. I think like this. Last but certainly not least, well, move that up there, but then you got to pull this because this is the cabana joint. Move that. Move that like that, and then when you move it down, you gotta kind of peg it in, make sure it's pushed all the way. Then you just snap it together, and you can see when you combine it, you're gonna stick the port in there and then squeeze it together. And believe me, this thing right here is super tight. Hopefully over time it doesn't get loose, but super tight. And now you can move these up, and now you have the arm. Move this where you need it to be, and you have a super beefy arm. You can turn this like this, make sure, yeah, because that's the elbow. And you even have this right here where you can get a butterfly joint, which is kind of cool. You get like a little kind of makeshift butterfly joint out of that. Yeah, here's the arm. You got the hand, move it like this. And we'll get into this more in combine mode. But I just think this is crazy looking. Like, this is a big arm. Just to compare it, Optimus Prime, hand to, this is masterpiece size Optimus Prime. So you have from hand to top is like his whole shoulder is bigger than Prime. So that's nuts. And like I said, you know, you got the elbow. It is going to be 90 degrees. Again, we'll go over that in the full combine mode. Waiting for the last guy. And then I'm going to do, you know, I'm going to do the combine video. All right, thanks for watching this video. I know it was a long one. So if you hung with me until here, I really appreciate it. This has been Inflewence, and I'm out of here. Peace.
Ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.